The Lamb's Book of Life. Now, this very subject can trip a few brethren up if they're not fully studied. And the thing I like about this short little study is the fact that the Lamb's Book of Life actually disproves Calvinism and proves dispensational salvation, as we'll see here. So we're going to go ahead and begin by stating that not one time does the Bible say Christians get into the Book of Life by being saved. Not once. Moses was not born again. Turn to Exodus chapter 32, verse 32. Yet now if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written. So here you see Moses asking the Lord to blot him out of the book of life that the Lord has written. Verse 33, And the Lord said unto Moses, Whosoever hath sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. So you see right here in the Old Testament, when Jews under the law would sin against the Lord, they would get blotted out of the book. What does that mean? Well, that means their name was already in there. To be blotted out means your name has to be in, correct? Turn to Revelation chapter 13, verse 8. When was their name written in there? Revelation 13, verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Okay. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. So right here, this book, the Lamb's Book of Life, was written from the foundation of the world. So now go to Revelation chapter 17, verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is. So you see right here, this name not being written is the exact same as being blotted out. Now go to Revelation chapter 20, verse 15. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire, hell. So you see, to be blotted out and not being found written are the exact same thing. And this disproves Calvinism, because everyone who is written in the book of life, they are written the moment they are born. All the lost people were written in the Lamb's Book of Life from the foundation of the world. Meaning God had a pretty positive expectation of people getting saved. Because little babies, when they die and they're innocent, they go to heaven. And how does that work for Calvinism? The biggest problem for a Calvinist is how can God predestinate people individually? When a baby dies, then it goes straight to heaven. How do you work that out? Well, it turns out, right now in this age, to keep your name in the book of life is to get saved, believe the gospel of Jesus Christ, repent, and turn to the Lord. And as I said, disproves Calvinism, because all babies that die throughout all ages go to heaven because they're innocent. They were written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. So you see, it proves both those points. Because salvation in the Old Testament, to keep their names in that book of life, consisted of faith and works. There were works involved, like the animal sacrifices and things like that. So just a really important little study that I wanted to do. It wasn't very long, because it didn't take much to understand this important doctrine, but this trips so many brethren out there up on so many points, because brethren think, well, if their name can be blotted out, then that means that they were saved at one point. No, it doesn't. It actually means that it's the book of life. Think about it. It's the book of life that the Lord wrote, and it has every single person's name that ever lived in it. So when it comes time for them to receive salvation, if they've grown to that point, they've encountered a preacher or read the Bible or heard it, it's their choice. And then if they say no, they choose to remain lost, they will get blotted out and go to hell. And that, the perfect, one of the most easy to understand things once you really just look at the scriptures and what they're saying. Very simple, and bye-bye Calvinism. It shows right there that God expects everybody to be saved, and if they choose to reject, then He blots their names out. And that's how the Lamb's Book of Life works. But with that being said, brethren, I just wanted to bring that up because I know there's a lot of heretics and people out there that will try to use this thing and twist the scriptures and try to say that a Christian can lose salvation by being blotted out. It's not talking about losing salvation. It's talking about rejecting salvation as far as this age goes. In the old times, under the law, yes, there were works involved with salvation. I know that gets a lot of the fundamentalists very upset because they think faith was the same in all dispensations, but fact of the matter is it was not, and this proves it point for point. But alright, brethren, that's it for this little short study. I will see you on the next video.